pepper spray. Anyways. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Walking Dead After Show here on theStream.tv. I'm your host, Sue Castillo, alongside your fellow hosts, Timothy Michael and Michael Tiberi. And we're back, y'all. Just like The Walking Dead is back. And I know you're super excited, so let's get into it. Yes, elbow deep, like the episode was, which was a bang. It started off with Daryl.
A literal bang.
A literal bang. It was Daryl, Sasha, and Abraham, like we last left off, you know, on the mid-season finale. And they had to get out the truck because you got Sons of Anarchy. First of all,
they're just merging series now.
Yeah, they are.
Just crossover.
Yeah, crossover. Okay, first of all, would you have stopped that truck because they were parked? They were parked on their bikes and they were situated like they were so comfy. I would have mowed them down. Yeah. Would you?
I probably, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm afraid of guns.
If they were with if they were with Suge Knight, they would have.
Oh, my God, Michael.
Okay.
Michael.
Just speaking my truth.
Okay. Well, that's fine. So then they get stopped by who was this mystery guy? Because I didn't look.
So he's like Dwayne. He's in the comic books. He's
like, that's Dwayne.
Yeah, he's like, apparently he's like Negan's like right-hand man, but he's supposed to have a bigger role. So now I'm like, well, we obviously saw what happened with that, but he's gone now.
But he was the Dwayne from. You remember in the previous episode when Daryl was in the woods and he was with those stragglers and the guy had to cut off and he was like, oh, and he picked up his watch. You remember that?
Yes.
Right.
Didn't he say Dwayne? Dwayne. He called that guy's name. So I guess that was Dwayne.
So this guy.
Well, goodbye, Dwayne.
Goodbye, Dwayne.
Boy, we only saw your foot in the previous one, and then now we get to see your head when Daryl, out the back of the truck, blows you up with a RPG. My God. I love that intro. I was like, hallelujah, how are they going to get out of this?
It honestly took me by surprise a little bit, because then the guy was like, nah, we ain't going to shoot you. And then he was like, JK, we're going to shoot you. And then it was like, oof. And I was like, I thought I was watching like some like Transformers like CGI, like out of nowhere. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
And then they just showed Daryl behind the truck, like, "What's up?"
I got really scared for Abraham though for a second because there were some rumors flying around during the break that he was going to be like one of the first people to go this season, and when they were like pointing the gun at him, I was like, "Oh shit!" I got real scared.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's still around though.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Rosita might kill him, but you know, whatever. Because you see that look that Sasha, she was like, what? I was like, Sasha, it ain't even like that. Y'all haven't even gone on I don't know, Walking Dead rules, I guess. And
and they brought up Negan, which I was really, really happy about because it's the first time they kind of mentioned his name in this season, so it's kind of like foreshadowing what is to come. Excited. Oh, excited.
Oh, of course, because you know who's playing Negan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and he's amazing.
Yes, blast. So then we get back to the group. You know, when last we saw, they were kumbaya, holding hands on the porch, walking out in blood, zombie guts, you know, walker guts, off the porch and into the thing. And you know what? I was a little bit like, who was in charge of continuity? Because last when we left off, they were walking off the porch. Little old crusty mug Sam was mom. And then when we get back to them, they're down the street and there was no problem. So I was like, what are the people at The Walking Dead thinking that the fans wouldn't know that and notice that and then just go, well, it doesn't matter, and then keep going on? Or like, what was their thought process?
I mean, you're right with the whole they should have kind of wrapped that up and maybe had him start being quiet or something like that. Yeah. But I feel like they kind of backtracked a little bit and was like, we can't have him saying mom right now on the porch. Like, it has to be later to kind of build up the climax.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure they just changed their mind. But you're right. They should have kind of wrapped that up a little bit tighter.
Oh, a little bit. It just...
Yeah, because I even rewinded it and was like, oh, did I miss them? Did I miss him saying that?
Yeah.
And then because I was like, was I not paying attention? Then just totally got rid of it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you invite somebody to your house knowing your house is daggum dirty and all you did was pile up all the dirt in the corner behind the door thinking they're not going to see it. We saw the dirt.
Right. I just wanted to continue to bash Sam. That's why I wanted to see that scene again, because I was just like, I want to just get angry.
You know? Well, we all were. And then, so as the group is continuing on in the street, they kind of stop and they have to come up with this plan. And so they, you know, Rick comes up with this plan, like just grasping at straws of, you know, they'll separate, get cars, like everybody needs to grab a car. And
which I thought actually was a really brilliant idea. Go to the armory, get the guns, get the cars to round up the walkers and herd them out like they were doing. I mean, that was successful in the beginning of the season, so why not now? Yeah, I thought that was a good plan.
I mean, it was somewhat of a grasping at straws plan, and I think he even, when he said it, he knew that it was one of those kind of like semi-suicide mission kind of things, because you remember when they ran into Aaron, when Aaron was trying to bring them to Alexandria, they were in the car and they were completely surrounded. They had to ditch the cars and leave. There was no way of like moving through that herd of walkers at all. So I think he knew if they individually went to cars, they were going to run into the same problem, and that's why he was so desperate to hand Judith off to who? Father Gabriel? Come on now, you know Rick was desperate.
You know, all that he was desperate, because even Michonne was like giving looks. Like, can you do this?
Judith was like, no, please.
Father Gabriel said, I could do this. Michonne was like,
boy, can you do this?
Yeah, that's that heavy side eye, you know? Yeah, and
I
we
can
all,
say nothing, but...
And it was quiet for a while, and to be quiet like that in front of like a bunch of walkers, any minute to get bit on, and everybody has that same, I don't know, Father Gabriel. And he said, I can do it. Are you sure? I have to. That's not a good answer, sir.
No.
That is not a good answer
He stepped
at all.
up, so...
Well, he did, but you know, you had mentioned that look Judith gave to him
when they were putting her under the blanket. She was like, "Oh no!" I was like, I wouldn't want to go under the blanket either, Judith. I wouldn't.
I was so scared she was going to cry.
Yeah,
at
that's
that
what
point.
I was thinking the whole time, and I was like, oh wait, no, it's just gonna be Sam that's
Oh,
gonna cry.
well, yeah, eventually. And then, then there was that moment of, okay, Father Gabriel's going to take Judith with him, and then Jess was like, okay, Sam, go with him too. And it's like, okay, weakling, here you go. And Father Gabriel's like, yeah, come on. And Sam's like, no, Mom, I can do this. No, you can't. Shut up, Sam. What do you, like, I'm sure, like, there's a lot of, you know, Walking Dead fans out there like, come on, it's a child, it's this. You're right. You are right. But I am cold-blooded. I
think we're all cold-blooded here, because I'm pretty sure. I mean, but as an adult, like as his mother, Jesse should have been like, go. But in fairness, you can't really have a screaming battle right there in the middle of walkers with your child.
That's
like,
true.
Yeah, that's
it's kind of like a kid having a tantrum at a supermarket, and everybody's looking at you, and you're like, you know what, I'll just deal with this later. Go.
Yeah. Like, you are not having this payday. Like,
because I was surprised that they were sitting there in front of the walkers having a freaking conversation anyway.
Yes,
I was like, didn't we nail down the plan before we started walking?
Yeah.
Like, y'all just want to...
And absolutely no talking was part of that.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Okay. Well, then Sam wanted to stay with them, and she said, okay. And then they all kumbaya, grabbed hands. And then Carl grabbed Ron's hand. And I will say that, you know, that makes me, like, to see Carl's character grow from, like, just that little boy that Lori never knew where the hell he was to, you know, who he is today in making these very mature decisions. Like, Ron just tried to kill you. He's the reason the house got overrun, you know, and then you holding his hand, like you trying to help him through this process, you being understanding. It's just like, dang, Carl.
Yeah.
Coral. You're so deep, Coral. You know, and he grabbed his hand. I was like, okay, but you know what? Screw Ron. Screw Ron. But, and then we've got, okay, so then we had these little moments, and we kind of glossed over it when we were talking about this too, about, you know, we get back to Denise, and, not Denise, but Eugene, Rosita, and...
Carol and Morgan.
Carol, Morgan, and, oh my God, what's her name?
Denise.
No, not Denise,
wait,
pregnant girl. Denise's girlfriend.
Oh, Tara.
Tara. God, it's been so long, y'all.
Denise's girlfriend.
Oh, Tara. Tara, yeah, Denise's girlfriend, Tara. Tara and them, and they're all in there, and then Eugene is talking about, like, we basically kind of need to go out there and all this kind of stuff. And I know we glossed over it when we were talking about it, but then I was thinking about it. I was like, of all people to talk about what needs to be done, and it was Eugene. And Rosita was just like, no, really, you, Eugene? And she kind of called him on it. Like, what do you guys feel about that? Like,
you know, I feel like this was like the step up episode. Like, Father Gabriel stepped up, you know, the Alexandrians stepped up. We'll talk about that. And then Eugene was stepping up in that moment when Rosita was like, no, you can't. And he was like, no, I have to. It's like, people are finally realizing, like, you're either gonna die or you're gonna fight. And I think that's what that whole moment was about.
Yeah.
Right. It's taken them this long to figure that out. But they've finally risen to that point.
Exactly.
Where you're like, and I agree with you. I do think it was like that's a great example to say it's a step-up episode.
Yeah.
Because everybody kind of was. I mean, minus a few, but they were taken care of. And yeah, I think that it is kind of like if they haven't learned at this point that you have to take initiative, then there's no point in them staying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And you know what I also found crazy was just like a lot of people got showcased even up to this point, and then, you know, we hardly kind of got to see Tara. Like, she only had her one moment about like, what about, we got to go out there. Like, she needed to find Denise. They needed to go after that. And Rosita was like, no, girl, we not going nowhere. They surrounded. Simmer down. He needs her. Calm down. And she did kind of calm her down and rationalize her and like get her to be in a rational state. So I think, you know, what if somebody snatched like if a wolf snatched your loved one, you know what I mean? I know I would go balls to the wall crazy and want to kick that door down and like take walkers out left and right.
I was kind of like in the position of Denise saying like, okay, yeah, Tara probably is going through it because somebody took her loved one. They haven't been dating that long.
Well,
but
Walking
like,
Dead rules,
right?
It's forever.
But in like terms of Denise being taken hostage, like it's like, okay, well, you're being taken hostage, so what do you do now? Do you go with them and, you know, risk getting bitten, or do you fight back and get shot? Like what? Where would your mindset be at that point? I mean, that's just a hard decision. Like, you could either stay and die or go and die. It's really
well, that's
like,
true, but you know, Walking Dead rules. There are not that many gay people, so you know, I mean, I may have to venture.
The gays have fought really hard on this show. Denise is still alive. Aaron, and then his boyfriend, wherever the hell he is. I don't know where he is. He's around somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've gotten, you know, and black people and Asian people. I mean,
they were we'll get to we will get to it after this commercial break about all of them. So stay tuned. Make sure you tweet, chat with us, get in the YouTube channel. We're reading your comments, guys. So we will be right back after this commercial break. Bye.
bye guys.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Red Lobster.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live. In case you missed it live.
Oh, you'd want to take the time travel the whole way back.
How did we not figure that out?
We had a crazy vampire threesome.
And you can't unsee that. That's burned into my brain now.
I was like,
How did you get here? No. Look at me. I'm dancing.
You know why we saying yes. You know why we saying yes.
He was like, yeah, I'll tell you whatever you want.
He is quite something.
and we're like, inseparable. She was shadier than Sunglass Hut with Ray-Bans on sale, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it wasn't. So come on.
You just went to a totally different direction on that.
When a billionaire goes broke, it means he's got like $4 million.
Hold the phone.
Hold on.
Bro.
I found her to be deliciously out of control.
Oh man, looking forward to this fight.
Ooh, they about to get together. Watch, it's about to go down.
Somebody better take some pictures of this.
She just slapped the crap out of Nick.
And he's just
It's so good.
You can't count anything out.
Look at you.
It's been another awesome night at theStream.tv, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us, you guys.
Yes.
We love you.
Get a bleep. Get a bleep. That's all I want.
Okay, let's get in formation.
Welcome back to the Walking Dead After Show here on theStream.tv. So we're picking back up on our discussion where we're talking about,
Sam.
Sam.
Like what obviously happens, which we all thought was going to happen at the beginning of this episode because of what happened at the last episode with the mom and the bringing up the talking during the walking, but you know, Sam got
They gave him more
bit.
time than he should have even gotten.
True. But I'm glad I'm not glad that he's dead, but I'm glad that they stuck to the comics, and all my comic book fans out there know that this was a very comic book heavy episode, and that whole scene was so comic book heavy, and it was brilliant. It was brilliantly done. There were little adjustments here and there, but it was brilliant.
Yeah, so that scene, that demise was just like the
whole thing.
Ooh, let me tell you something.
I am glad. I'll add on to it. Then.
Yeah.
I am glad he died.
Yeah, I think we all were, which is so heartless. Like, I understand that there's probably fans out there of the show who's just like,
there's probably
it's a
fan
kid.
of Sam.
Well, no, I want to. Well, I want
a fan.
Of course, like the actor did. Honestly, Sam did a great job of playing like
playing the role.
Playing the role, which is it's not hard. I mean, it's not hard. It's not easy.
Yeah. Right.
Is what we're trying to say. But to also like, I mean, Sam just started, Mom, and he started freaking out. And let's talk about the fact that he heard Carol's voice in his head telling him about the monsters will come and they will eat you alive, and how he kind of had this PTSD breakdown. And I'm just like, God, all these people having like these PTSD episode type things. He gets taken over. I don't know about y'all. To me, I thought, oh my geez, I went, yes, this is too good to be true. Is this a dream sequence? Because it almost felt like the way they were shooting it, it was like a dream. That they came out and just started eating
I thought
him.
they were going to go the route of it's all in like Rick's mind or somebody's mind. But obviously that didn't happen. I did feel bad for Jessie though, because I was starting to like Jessie. You know, I mean, she was kind of stepping up with that whole, like, her going crazy with the walker that invaded her house and stuff like that. So she was stepping up, and she was stepping up for the group and Rick in general, saying that, you know, the Alexandrians needed to fight back, and then she got it. And
let me tell you something. The moral of the story, don't date Rick, ladies, because if you do, you will die. Lori, Jesse.
He is the opposite of like that Good Luck Chuck character, where he just like, if you kiss Rick, you will die.
You will die. Seriously. Like, don't get with Rick. And then Jesse freaks out. Like, I mean, the most I equated to was like, oh, heaven forbid. Like, if my dog started yapping and walkers bit him, I'd cry and scream and have all this hullabaloo. And, of course, walkers would tear me up, too. And so I'm just thinking, like, a mother seeing that of her child, her baby that she... Oh, like, that broke my heart. That was the only part that broke my heart. Because Sam, sorry, bye.
Yeah, I know. Sam should be happy. That's, like, the closest he'll ever get to a hickey.
Ron went bananas. And he pulled out a gun again. How do you still have the gun, Ron?
But you know what? It's interesting because in the last episode, he's just mad at the whole Grimes family, because first he was trying to kill Carl, and then he was trying to kill Rick when he was holding the gun. He was pointing it at Rick, and then Michonne stabbed him, and then he fell out, and then the gun went off. Yeah. So I guess he just has a vendetta, and I don't know if he blamed Rick for this happening. I mean, should he have blamed Rick for this happening, or should he blame, you know, his brother? Could he blame his brother? I mean,
I mean, it's not Rick's fault.
We know it's not Rick's fault, but I mean,
that boy was so much trouble. I told you from the moment I saw his weak chin that boy was trouble. Like, you know, it's just one of those things of like, he's just so disjointed, disconnected. He didn't care about his own family. No. His mom got attacked by a wolf. Did he care? Did he help clean up the mess? No. He just wandered off, tried to go shooting, and then pull a gun on Carl, and then he still had the gun. Why does this boy still have a gun? And he pulls it out this time, and then I remember I was talking with some friends about this, and they were like, well, remember Porch Dick, his dad, where it was, where he was abusive, right? And they said, what if their father was abusive with them? And I'm like, well, the way Sam was acting, Sam is very sheltered. I don't think Sam got any of the abuse. I think he was protected with kick gloves by his mom.
And his brother.
Maybe his brother, but the way his brother's acting, I mean, I don't know. It could be a possibility that Ron was abused by the dad. No, it was
because his brother would protect him also. Because remember in that episode, I don't remember which episode it was, but when Jesse and Ron were having that conversation, Jesse was like, lift your arm up above your head, and he couldn't because his dad would abuse him as well. They were both sheltering Sam.
Touche. Touche. That is true. So I guess, yeah, Ron in a way kind of blamed the Grimes for everything that fell out, but I was so, like, don't get me wrong, I knew Michonne, hell or high water, would do what needs to be done. Unlike Morgan, you know, she took Ron out. Now, I am looking forward to seeing how that resonates with Michonne. later
Well,
on.
did you guys see like when the gun went off and we obviously it was revealed that Carl got shot in the eye?
Yeah.
Michonne went crazy.
Yeah.
Like she was like, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Like she was like, we need to go. Like that's it. Like it's done. Like screw everybody else. We gotta go. Right. Which I loved because it showed this whole vulnerable side of Michonne. It's like this is her family.
Yeah.
She looks at Carl and she looks at Rick like that's her family.
Yeah.
So
because when they were stitching up Carl's eye and she was like holding Carl's head still so Denise could do like sutures and stuff, and she was like, I've got to go. Rick's out there by himself. Which again, I mean, we're skipping ahead just a little bit, but Rick was like, the lights are on, Walker's going to the house. He was like, I got this, with his little axe. Walked out the front door, closed it. You can hear Rick, don't go. That's slow, like, don't do it. And he closes the door and like, I got this.
Yeah.
And he did.
yeah.
I loved it. It was my Beyonce moment when I was just like, yes,
You were like,
queen, slay,
yes.
slay. And he was just like,
He was
every person.
Oh, he was
every
unapologetically
single-
Rick. Yes, he
Yeah.
was.
But then everybody was like, we gotta go.
Yes.
We gotta back our boy up. And they all like ran out. And then that montage of everybody like killing,
Yes,
like
like,
towards the
it was
a lot
camera,
of
that was
violence.
super cool.
It was crazy
I thought it
violence
was
this
awesome.
episode. Well, which like is great because it's a good contrast from some episodes
Yeah,
where we run
yeah.
a little slower.
Yeah.
But I was like, damn, it was just like they were like no holds bar, just everyone.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is nuts.
Bruce got involved. They were doing like these little like camera like just sneak peek at people looking out the window and
Yeah.
like sitting in the armory and like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know. And then I saw Bruce and I was like, ugh, Bruce, what you gonna do? And he went out the door and he fought them. I was like, yes, okay,
When
Alexandria.
Bruce went out, yeah.
Then Bruce went out. I guess everybody's stepping up. And then Father Gabriel even went out.
Yeah.
And they were like, Father. Father. And it was almost like they were making fun of him almost, but it was very like, come on, Father, you're not going to go out. And he was just like, we prayed for God to save Alexandria. And he's delivered that by giving us the strength to do it. And yeah, but didn't he say he was going to look after Judith? So like I kind of had mixed feelings on that. I was glad Father Gabriel was willing to go out and like fight the walkers with Rick and everybody too. But he also said that he would take care of Judith and look after her.
But if you think about it, he is taking care of Judith in the long run. Like Judith was safe at that moment. Everybody in that church was safe. So they're safer right now. So let's think about the future now and let's get rid of these walkers so that we can be safe in the future as well.
Yeah. Oh, and then we have Enid and Maggie and Glenn.
Yeah.
So when they came up with the plan to like go, and then Enid, I'll give Enid credit because that's the only part that I liked about Enid when she was saying, listen, I was going to follow you anyway. And he was, and
She is stubborn.
She is stubborn, and Glenn was like, damn, okay, and she helped, which really did. But I laughed because Enid climbed this thing, and she got on this little crawl thing onto the thing where Maggie was all rickety, whatever. And I was like, wait a minute, why can't y'all get off that rickety thing
And
back
go onto
onto the crawl thing?
Yeah.
That was,
Well, because she had the rope so they can climb down on the other side. I think that's what it was.
Well, that was the point.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't, and then Glenn got surrounded.
He didn't.
Oh my Jesus.
when
I
that
was
moment
so
when
scared.
Glenn got surrounded, I was like, no, come on.
I
Like,
know.
You're playing, fam. Like here we go again.
Same. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Like your producers are playing with us. Like you're playing.
I was on the edge of my seat. I was just like, I was just like, nah, they're playing because they're gonna save at any point. But man, they took it like there was this line. And they were like, no, we're going all the way over here. Because he was hunkered down like this.
In that moment, when I saw them all go and he went down, I was like, oh, this is
He
for
went
sure.
where?
This is the end of Glenn.
How did he go? How'd he go, Michael? Down.
He went
He went down. Okay, and then Abraham and Sasha came to the rescue. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
That's the only reason I'm glad y'all two popped up. They popped up like those little Muppets.
But how Glenn did not get hit in that like crossfire is crazy to me.
Yeah. I mean, everybody was saying. I mean, I guess because he was hunkered down and the walkers were surrounding him. I guess
they just hit all of them around him.
it's Walking Dead.
It's movie magic.
Yes,
or
there you
TV
go.
Magic,
Yeah,
sorry.
TV magic.
So let's really quickly get into the questions that we have. So one of the questions that we've got from our friends over at undeadwalking.com. Thank you very much, guys. The question comes from Rob Hinson on Facebook, and he asks, if Negan's group got blown away, what event catalyzes Negan to appear? Will he come looking for them? Well, they got blown away. Right. And
I mean, I have a lot to say because I've obviously read the comic books. I don't want to spoil anything, but putting it in the context of the Alexandrians and Rick's group have fought and they've conquered Alexandria again. You know, they look at this place as it's their home. They fought for it. They have a right to be there. They've kept it. So what if somebody came and tried to take it away from them?
Oh, like the prison.
Then what would happen? I'm leaving it at that.
Well,
okay. I have another question. Do we have time? Real
yeah,
fast?
let's do it.
So just from Simon Cerna, and he just said, do you think Carol is being consumed by the New World? All I got from this episode was kill, kill, kill.
Ooh, Cerna.
You know, it's funny that they bring that up because Morgan did bring up, you know, Sophia and Carol's ex-husband in this episode.
Yeah, how you gonna bring up business, Morgan?
Right. And I just think that Carol's evolved. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's kill, 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 but at the same time, she has this no bullshit attitude.
And how could you not be consumed by this new world? Like, how could you not find, like, in a little bit of a mindset, start to be like, oh, things are definitely not ever going to be back to the way they used to be.
I mean, I will say this for Carol, because she had that moment with Morgan where she was very calm. Like, she was very much in a rational state of mind when she said, you know what, I should have killed you. I mean, very calm, very matter of fact. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I can somewhat relate to that. Like when, I know for me, like when I was deployed in military situations and stuff like that, when you have somebody who just doesn't follow along and they just doing what they want to do for themselves, and that puts everybody else at risk, it's like, listen, hell or high water, I will have your back, but if you gonna put everybody else at risk because you just a selfish little bastard, then you know what? I will take you out if I have to. It's about protecting everybody else, not because you think everything is right. So I could kind of understand why Carol was like, I should have, because Denise would not have been taken. We would not be having the situation. The wolves wouldn't have run Alexandrian through, and we wouldn't have all these walkers. Like, there's so much that you aren't even taking responsibility for. I should have killed you. And what Morgan say? You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
You can't. Now, here's my thing about that, though. I think it goes a little deeper than him being like arrogant and you know, pompous about it by saying you can't. It's more of like you can't based on Carol's conscience. You know what I mean? Like he's saying you can't because your conscience won't let you kill me.
Interesting.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll see in the next in the next couple of episodes. But you guys tell us what you think. Make sure you answer the questions in the comments below that you guys asked us. Tweet us, and make sure you tune in to the Walking Dead After Show here on theStream.tv. See you guys next week.
Go enjoy the Grammys, guys.
Enjoy the Grammys.
Yeah, enjoy the Grammys.
For more of the Walking Dead After Show,
click that button and
subscribe to theStream.tv.